Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Heath, Anthony, and Los coming at you with episode 2 of the MalcoCast. How are you guys doing today?
What's up, guys? What's up, y'all?
Man, I'm good. How are you guys? It's a beautiful weather as you can see, and he's shot. Living that Cali weather.
Heath is out in the
Yeah.
country, in the cuts.
That's right. That's right.
So today we're going to be talking to you about an age-old question. It's a question that I think that you guys have been asking yourselves as rock music fans, and that question is rock music dead? Okay? And the reason I'm saying that, obviously, is because there's been some recent news, some recent developments. I'm speaking about an interview that Jacoby Shaddix of Papa Roach recently gave, in which he stated that rock music isn't dead and he's looking forward to spearheading it into the roaring 20s. Of course, this is counter what has been happening in the charts, especially like on sites like Spotify. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Spotify has a top 50 list of music that is popular in the United States. And on that list, you will not find any rock or heavy metal music on all 50 of those artists. What do you guys think about that?
See, hey, this is what I think about this. This is one way I'm going to come at this. I think you got to look who is saying this, because you look at one article and you sit here Jacoby saying he doesn't think rock is dead, but then you look at another article and it's Gene Simmons saying rock is dead. Gene Simmons is a money dude. He looks at it as the money aspect. To him, rock is dead from the money aspect. I think what Jacoby is saying is the spirit of rock and roll and rock music is still going to be alive when the pandemic is over. And in a way, he could still be talking about money, but I believe Jacoby's talking about the spirit and the there's going to be that rock and roll energy back when this is all said and done, like the roaring 20s of the 1920s, So that's the way I look at that whole kind of that this subject a little bit coming from those two guys,
What do you think about that, Heath?
Yeah, well, I'm getting to I know you were talking about that Spotify playlist, and I mean that's kind of the. I mean, I hate to be the pessimist, but I mean we got to look at what people are listening to, and there's you can't argue with statistics. I mean, I mean, rock and roll is getting blown out of the water by EDM. It's getting blown out of the water by pop. It's getting blown out of the water by rap music. I mean, it's just been, the whole rock is dead thing. I mean, that's been since rock and roll started. I think people started saying rock and roll is dead. Yeah. I mean, I think that's been a constant thing. When Elvis came on the scene and people can. I think part of it's the people that can't stand the rock and roll music. They want to say rock and roll is dead. But I mean, I just feel like it's a little bit different now. I mean, I feel like I'm watching the music scene, and it's just so. Yeah, man, you can't argue with Spotify and Apple. I mean, you can't argue with what people are actually streaming. And you know what I mean? It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah, and just to throw a little bit of some context in here, the very most popular song in the United States is by Justin Bieber, Daniel Caesar, and Giveon, and it's called Peaches. Up next is Lil Nas X with Montero, followed by Cardi B. Her jam is called Up. Kali Uchis, never heard of that person. And Masked Wolf with Astronaut in the Ocean. And so, through this whole list, there's not one heavy metal, there's not one rock act. It makes me sad, man. It really does, because, I'm a radio guy. And I'll more on that later, but it's really hard to find songs and radio out there that feature guitars. Nobody is playing guitars on modern pop radio.
Yep.
So asking to me, I believe music, because I don't really think that you can just say rock is dead. I believe music is dead. I believe creative, forward-thinking music is dead. Like, I don't think there's so much out there, man. Like, it's bands don't. I remember when I was young coming up, I couldn't wait to hear, man, what riffs is Metallica gonna have on this album? You know, like, or Pantera, like, man, I know this album's gonna crush and the riffs are just gonna be crazy, and I can't wait to try to learn some of Dimebag stuff. And I think with music today, kids don't care about that anymore. They don't care about the riffs, the creativity. They want to make it as heavy as possible, as simple as possible, because that's what music has gone to. And that's why there's no legendary bands out there right now. You know, like, who do you think is gonna? There's no guitar players inspiring the next generation of guitar players, because there's nobody out there. You know, like,
who do you think was the last one out there to really like kick everyone in the nuts and make them want to pick up and play a guitar? I mean, for me, I would have to say it was Slash. I mean, that guy is like the last great guitar god out there of like our generation. I mean, what do you guys think of that?
For me, it was Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah.
Dimebag Darrell, man, like, just his crushing riffs, dude, like, they were just devastating. You know, I mean, Hetfield was my guy. Like, I always wanted to be, I still want to be James Hetfield, you know, like, I just can't sing and play it.
Yeah.
Dude, if I could sing and play, I swear to God. But I just, like, for me, it was Hetfield and then Dimebag, those two guys. But it's like, who do you hear about now? You know, like,
nobody, not a damn person.
And that's sad, because musicians aren't heroes anymore. You know, like, for me, I put them right up there with athletes. You know, like, I'm a sports guy,
yeah,
but musicians, like, they're musicians and athletes to me are one and the same. You know,
and that's probably because the fans, dude, they're stuck in the past. You know, a lot of hard music, heavy metal music, the fan base a lot of it is stuck in that past. You know, the big concerts like the Bottle Rocks of the world. All these big concerts like Outside Lands, who are usually the headliners for those? Bands that came out 20, 30 years ago, you know?
Yep.
I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but they were going to be headlining Bottle Rock before the whole thing got shut down by COVID.
Right.
And why did they do that? And that's because these are proven bands that are going to get asses in the seats, get asses in the lawns, and fill up these stadiums. You know, they are proven acts, and they will sell tickets. Nobody is encouraging or developing these new music acts in that rock genre. It's you don't see that with rap music. You don't see that with country music. And I have to add that, like, these other genres like country and like rap and pop music, you know, they borrow a lot of what makes rock music great. You know, they if it's not the attitude that they're borrowing, then it's, you know, the energy, the sound, the riffs. I mean, the other day I was listening to gosh, what was it? I forgot. It was a country song, and it sounded just like a rock song, to be honest with you.
Really?
So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that, you know, rock music, rock fans, do you think that they're stuck in the past? What are your thoughts on that?
I do. I definitely do. I think it's obvious. I mean, we're seeing more and more of these older artists that are still, you know, putting out music, you know, and I gotta believe it's because a lot of that listening audience is still from that generation. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, that's the one thing I see. Like I look at kids these days, and I just don't see a lot of kids that are into rock and metal. I mean, there are those kids, but it's not like it used to be. But I think a lot of it also attributes to the fact that there is no music programs in school anymore. I mean, like, how do why do you learn? Unless your parents are cool enough to put you in a some sort of program. I mean, there's no music anymore, so everything's electronic. Like the whole EDM thing is huge, right? I mean, you see in these festivals where there's two DJs up on stage and they're playing for hundreds of thousands of kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Younger kids. Right. Well, what is it? Like, that's something I feel like that's something that they can grab hold of, because they can do it right there on their computer. Mm-hmm. They can grab their computer and they can create an EDM song without an instrument. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of it's coming down to that too. Like, we're just getting to this, we're in the day and age where it's like everything is so digitized. It's like, why do you even need a guitar? Why do I need to get calluses on my fingers? Thought. Why do I need to learn how to drum beat?
Anthony's got some stuff to say.
I hope we never get to that point where kids are like, why do I need a guitar? I got the computer. But dude, like, to be honest with you, like, when we're going into the studio right now and recording and stuff, like, part of the reason why maybe I think some of our stuff may not connect to people who are younger is because it sounds too. Because all of our shit is live instruments. It's not digital instruments.
Right. No auto tune, no any of that stuff, huh?
Yeah, like, this is, we have, like, obviously effects on things, but this is pretty clean acoustic instruments. Like, and I don't think the generation, not trying to slam them, I just don't think they understand that, because they don't go back and listen to music like I did when I was coming up, like, in a historical way. Like, Metallica, my first metal band, my first love, but where did they come from? Mm-hmm. Like, what were their roots? Black Sabbath, Thin Lizzy, bands like that, British new wave of British heavy metal, like, those were their roots. So it's like, it makes you go back, and for me, I always wanted to go back and investigate where my favorite bands came from, and I just don't think kids do that. Like, I was talking to some kids that were, in their early 20s from the area, and I was like talking to them about Papa Roach.
They were like, who the hell's Papa Roach?
They had no fucking clue who they were, and they were from Solano County. They grew up in Solano County, and I was just like, wow, man, like, that's fucking sad, dude.
They just don't give a fuck. That's
man, and it's crazy, because, like, with my son, he, like, listens to music, like, he studies it, and I've ingrained that into him because I want him to know where music is coming from, like.
No, absolutely. But how much of it do you think, though, is elitism? Just among music fans themselves, right? Not giving other kind of metal acts or metal music a chance to, be on the playlist. There are fans of Metallica who go to a Metallica show and who, they dress a certain way, they talk a certain way. You feel like you're among a Metallica audience, a Metallica fan. It's like a brotherhood almost. So it's not really, I guess, inclusive to the average person, right? You're not going to see, like, Chad and Karen over there, in their with the sweaters wrapped around their necks, going, "No, honey,
with a man,
both kill them all." You're not going to see that. So
both of them have buns though? Can both Karen and Chad
just
have
the man
drinking wine?
Just the man.
So it's like there's an elitism there, right? You have to kind of look the part. You kind of have to lead the lifestyle and act the part, and I think that's kind of hurting metal music. It's not mainstream enough, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But it doesn't have to be though, because rock music has always been a form of music where it's just like, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want when I want, and
How I want.
I don't give a fuck if you don't like this kind of music. I'm gonna do it anyways. So
Right.
how does that all fit into the whole pop music where everybody is like positive and happy, and people would just want to have fun, and what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think no matter what, we're always going. Look, the question when we start with the question is rock and roll dead? It's not dead. I mean, the thing is, there are always going to be that community of music or people, music listeners that they're going to want to hear, the aggressive music. They're going to want to just take their anger out,
Yeah.
by headbanging and whatever. So I think that yes. I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel like we're at a point. We're kind of, and I'm not saying it's not going to come back, but I feel like we're at a point where rock and roll is probably not the mainstream. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that it won't have a resurgence. I think that bands, especially this last year, because they've had an opportunity. Spending a year being locked up, you know what I mean? They've had an opportunity to be creative and reinvent themselves. So I'm interested to see like what's the new. How does rock and roll change now? How does it evolve? Because I think that's what we got to look at. Because look at it over the ages.
Yeah.
It's evolved over and over and over again. Whether it's grunge or new metal or whatever, it evolves.
Exactly.
I think lack of label support has hurt rock music, metal music on the charts more than any form of music, because labels. They were interested in getting their artists on the labels, so they would do what they had to do to get their artists on the labels, and they're not getting the label support anymore. And these bigger acts that are on Spotify, they are getting the label support, because they are popular and they will still sell to kids. And it's the music industry is a shitty fucking thing right now. It really is, dude. Like, it really, really is. Especially really for rock bands, dude. It really is. It's
again, it's the type of thing you can't deny what people are listening to, and so it's unfortunate because I feel like that people are being. I don't know, man. I just feel like if you're not picking up that instrument, if you're not writing your own music, which let's face it, a lot of these pop and artists, they're not writing their own music. It's like, where's that creativity coming from? How does that guy, the guy that's singing a song that's not his, like, how do you, like, I don't know. Like, for me, like, it's got to be my song, man. I got to feel it. It's got to be in my bones, man. And I see these guys and they get up there and they're singing, Robert Smith's song, some guy, or not Robert Smith, but I'd love to sing Robert Smith's song. I love The Cure. But no, I mean, they're singing some dude, that's sitting on a couch collecting a check, and they're singing his song. And it's like, oh, they're just, I don't get it. It's difficult for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're coming up here on 20 minutes for this podcast. So we're going to close it out with some final thoughts. And here are mine, and we'll go Anthony and then Heath. So I think that rock music is not dead. If music is being played with guitars, bass, drums, and some vocals, it's never going to die. And I don't think it's dead, and I don't think that it will ever die, as long as there are fans who enjoy the music and who listen to the music and who play the music. But I don't think that it gets the credit that it deserves. I don't think it gets the support it deserves. It's not mainstream. It's the reality. It really is. It's not. But then again, I think that like the music itself has a little to do with it, because it's always, rock music is never to conform. It's never to, quote unquote, sell out, right?
Right.
So I don't think it's dead at all, but I don't think it's in the best shape it could be in. Back in the day, even when the whole like new metal was going on, everybody listened to it, like,
So exciting.
Yep.
yeah, and then after that came all the emo with the Used and Chemical Romance and all those guys. So I don't think it's dead, but it's not in the best shape it could be.
No, and you know what is dead though?
What's
That lawn behind Heath. No, I agree with you. I don't think it's dead. I just think that there's not anybody doing anything exciting. There's not the new metal, because when that came out, it was exciting. It was like, holy shit, what is this? Like, what is
yeah,
this slowed down, more angry,
drop tuned.
drop tune? And it's like, I mean, I think that's I think everybody's searching for that answer, that right answer to make it exciting. Rock music is never going to go away just because people who are fans of pop music, what do they all turn to when they have a bad fucking day?
Certainly not Kumbaya.
No, everybody listens to rock music, some sort of rock music. You turn to classic rock, or what we perceive as classic rock. Now this generation behind us looks at Metallica's classic rock, but people from our generation, they still tune into classic rock when they're feeling a certain way about shit, so
yeah, absolutely.
Rock is never going to die. It's never going to go away. It just needs some reinvigorating.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's my big thing out of this is I'm thinking, if you're a youngster, and you're in high school and pick up that guitar, pick up the drum, pick up the bass, pick up an instrument, start creating, because this is, to me, it's an opportunity. This is an opportunity for the younger generation to create the next wave of metal, like whatever that's going to be, whatever that's going to sound like. This is their opportunity. Come in and start just creating a brand new sound, Lord. All these kids are just they're gonna get tired of the beats, this bone, the EDM stuff. Like, it's cool, like I get some of that, but it's like at some point you're gonna get bored, man. So it's like I'm just encouraged that, like, hopefully there's a younger generation out there that's gonna pick up their guitars, they're gonna start writing like crazy.
Yeah, and most importantly, support them. Listen to their music, comment, add them on the playlist. You guys know. And with that, don't forget to subscribe to the Malcontent's official podcast, MalcoCast. Don't forget to hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places. Don't forget to follow us on there.
Tinder.
All of that stuff. And we'll see you guys next time on the MalcoCast. Thank you for joining us.
You can edit that out, Carlos.
No way, that's going in.
Okay.
Peace, guys.
Right
Peace
on.
out.